Hello, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Northwest Georgia Cryptics. I am Rick Weaver, your host. Blake, I'm joined by Blake Duckworth, by Mr. Donnie tonight, and by Trina and Robert out of Middle Tennessee. They're going to continue their telling their saga, that story that they had from a couple of weeks ago. Blake, you go ahead and open the show, buddy.
How's everyone doing, guys? If you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, like, and a comment. Give Donnie a warm welcome. He was on the show last week. You're probably going to start seeing him a lot more on our show. He is one of our team members. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Hey.
That's all, Ricky.
Okay. Trina, yeah, everybody give Trina and Robert a warm welcome. They're our guests tonight from Middle Tennessee. And as I said, they were with us a couple of weeks ago, telling us about some stuff that's taking place on their property up there. They graciously agreed to come back tonight and do another segment with us. So let's bring Robert and Trina on the show. Y'all ready, guys?
How's it going, guys?
Great.
Hey.
Sorry I missed you guys not last week, but week before last.
No worries.
No worries. You were working, right? And sorry we missed that last week. My husband.
Life happens. We completely understand.
So, Trina, Robert, if y'all want to go ahead with your story, fill us in on a little more of what you got going on up there. I got some good pics from you. I'm going to apologize. The videos that you sent me, I cannot get them. I cannot get the video to download to StreamYard. I'm still trying to work on it, but all the pics I got.
All right.
Is this about the place in Whites Creek?
Yeah, the other house.
Yeah.
With oh my gosh. So we move in over there, and that's the other house up the road, right?
Yeah. The house is in Whites Creek.
So,
and it's an old brick home up on the hill, and it was haunted. And Trina can tell you the beginning of it because it was very aggressive with her.
Well, from the first night that we stayed there, I told you that it was my nephew and my two of our boys. Anyway, from the very first night, we started having things happen between doors shutting and opening by themselves, and main entry doors, not just a regular door or like a little bedroom door. So I'm talking main entry doors opening and closing by themselves, and everybody it didn't seem to bother anybody, I guess.
Nope.
Because nobody really said anything to anybody, to each other, until the next day I brought it up and was like, hey.
But the one ghost was around. It was a female, and you could see her kind of a lady in white ghost, and she smelled of smoke. So when she was around, you smelled like something was burned up in the house or on fire, and it was just her. And then I went on a business trip, and another ghost showed up and grabbed Trina by the ankles and started pulling her out of the bed. And she can tell you about that.
Yeah, that was after the lady figure. We had been there at this point probably two months or so.
About 2 months.
Maybe a month, 2 months. And anyway, he was out of town on a business trip and actually driving home late at night. And I went on to bed and woke up to the chandelier shaking and lights coming on and off. And so I went to slide, I'm like, holy crap, went to slide up in the bed, and it grabbed me by the ankles, like all the lights go out, grabs me by my ankles and is trying to, well, not trying, it is dragging me out of bed. Anyway, long story short, I'm screaming and hollering, and I'm reaching for my phone and anyway, I get in touch with my mom or you. I don't remember who I got in touch with exactly. The very next, I just hit send on my phone. So whoever I talked to before is who was getting an earful of whatever was going on, and immediately, as soon as I got the hold of my phone, it stopped. I have bruises, and I wish I could find those pictures. I've got them somewhere.
Yeah.
When I find them, I'll send them to you. But I've literally had handprint bruises on my ankles.
On her ankles, yeah.
From it grabbing me.
Then her nephew came and stayed with us not much long after that.
Well, he stayed with us from the first night on, but he was kind of back and forth.
He was back and forth, but he came back to visit, and he stayed downstairs. It's a really big home. So I'm going
I got a couple questions.
Sure.
So do you know any history on the house now?
We do the property. Now, the home itself is not as old as
people think it is.
The home itself, but it's built on some very historical property. Possibly, I did do a lot of digging on the property, all the way back to
but to keep it
the 1800s.
Because they have a timeline.
Yes.
To keep it short, there were old homes on the property, probably Indian burial stuff up there, because it's not the Trail of Tears goes right behind the property on the upper hill.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting about that property. But Kagan is, I used his name, Dan. Anyways, her nephew was in the room downstairs at night. It was bedtime. It was probably 10:30 at night, 11:30 at night. I'm checking the house, making sure it's all secure. And just as I come near the stairway, I hear this, no, 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 no. Here comes that boy flying up those stairs just as fast as he can. And he was clearing 5 steps at a time with every stride. He gets to the top. He's white as a ghost. I go, what the hell's wrong with you? He goes, a ghost just went right through me. It opened the door to my room, went right through me, and I ran as fast as I could. So that night we ended up. Yep, go ahead.
I mean, it definitely sounds like, that, with that strong of energy, I don't. Poltergeist activity is very rare. You can still even have things move, and they are spirits that wouldn't necessarily be considered poltergeist activity that are still able to do certain things that are not just I don't really know how to explain it, but
well, I'm with you.
From it having malicious intent, it sounds like poltergeist activity.
We got rid of it.
The first one, the lady figure didn't bother me.
No.
As a matter of fact, I was fine with her being there. It was definitely a she, but she didn't seem to bother me one least little bit. It was almost as though she was lost or confused, or maybe trying to share something with us. And that's where I kept telling John, and the area that through the house that she would go, I kind of followed that area, and you could literally, like you said, you could smell smoke.
Like burnt wood.
And then as I started doing research and all of that, and like as far as finding any kind of articles, I couldn't on that ordeal, but I was able to find old pictures, what's the map? The topo maps or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went from year to year to year to year looking at how the property changed, and structures that were there that's no longer there, and there was obviously a house there, and I went out, and just over time, as rain or whatever would happen, for whatever reason, past couple of years, the property's been washed away really bad out there. But anyway, there's bricks and old bricks, and you could tell something was definitely, the bricks are burnt, and there's burnt wood out there. And
she more than likely died in a fire, is my guess.
And then, obviously, and I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure it was probably foul play, only because of the other thing that showed up there is whenever we decided to bless the home. We bless the home, everything's fine. Well, then after that, the inside of the house is fine, but we started having things happen outside. And I was out on the balcony one night smoking a cigarette, and lo and behold, I hear something. Not even I hear something. I don't even remember what happened of why I was taking pictures of that area at night. I may have heard something, or maybe something caught my eye, and I spun around and started taking pictures. And I sent you, Rick, those pictures earlier. Those three, I think it's what, three men. Anyway, there's one or two pictures out of that. You know, those few pictures I took, that one really got me. Because one of the men standing there is like just evil, vindictive, and the way he looked at me in the picture. Now there was nothing physically. No, not that. It was before that one.
Okay, these things were kind of mixed up.
One of the other things that we noticed was when the bad ghost was around, it was ice cold in the rooms.
Oh God, yeah.
Like super cold. So when I went through the house and blessed it and got rid of them and evicted those ghosts out of that house, Kagan said he noticed the whole home became much warmer and he could just feel at peace in it. It was a big difference.
Okay, you'll have to. I'm gonna send you the picture so you'll know exactly which one I'm talking about. Anyway, there's another picture that definitely you can see.
We had to bless the inside of that home and the outside of the home to bring that whole place to peace.
Oh yeah, I don't know if this one's even going to show up without you having to really zoom into it.
Did you have any? I mean, with the blessings, activity pretty much just come to a halt, or
we have a blessed. Well, it's actually a blessed weapon. It's an actual two-edged sword. It's named Gabriel, and it has runes on it, and it's been blessed. And it's, you know, you walk into a room and they're out of there, man. The ghosts are out of there. They scattered. And we walk through the house and bless in Jesus Christ's name, and, you know, seal up all the portals and everything with holy oils and, you know, windows and doors and stuff like that. And those ghosts are gone.
And then the activity that we had outside. Rick, I'm looking at this picture, and I don't know that you'll be able to see it on here because the way you have to zoom into it.
You can't really zoom in like that.
No.
Yeah, with this thing, I can't zoom in.
That's what I'm sitting here like. I can zoom in with it with my fingers.
You can zoom in and take a screenshot and send it with your phone.
Yeah, I can try that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, we did go out when we saw the things outside, and he actually blessed that area as well, and all of that activity stopped. We've had other crazy activity out there, minus the Sasquatch ordeal.
Yeah,
it's been pretty wild, and
Squatch don't bother me.
Things like I love metal detecting. Well, really, I bought my metal detector because of the history I was digging out. And
the ghosts, the male ghosts, were definitely in the 1800s.
Yeah,
just the dress they had on, you know, the type of clothing they're wearing. They're clearly, you know, from the late 1800s. So they died there a long time ago.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of places become haunted because of, you know, things that happen on the land it sets on. I mean, I'm a volunteer at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and like, I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say one reason it is haunted the way it is, but I mean, you have the hospital itself sets on, you know, this land that had, you know, all these things happen through history. Then, you know, there were a lot of deaths in the hospital, you know, during its operation, and just the whole thing combined just makes it a paranormal playground.
Yep, sure does.
Don't that hospital sit on a river or something runs by?
A quartz river.
Mm-hmm.
It literally runs right under the hospital.
That's what I heard. That's supposed to have something to do with it too.
Well, quartz is it's a natural recorder. Like, I mean, it takes in, things just happen in time, and it kind of helps replay it, I guess. It holds energy.
Yeah.
It sure does.
And that's one thing about Old South Pittsburgh is, I mean, not only do you have just residual hauntings that just, just kind of happen as it goes, and I mean, you do have some intelligence there also. I mean, we have things move and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, I've had a door slam on me up there, and I actually watched the door close a couple weeks ago. I was walking by and it shut as I'm walking by it.
Wow. My funny is my kids at the house, and her nephew, they're sitting there playing video games. The garage door, the door to the garage opens right up to the room they're in playing, shuts, and then walked through, didn't even phase them, opens another door and walks out. And they're like, well, it wasn't bothering us. It just was moving in and out of the room. I was like, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, they could at least knock, couldn't they?
Yeah,
Say,
right?
hey, while you're walking through, at least. I mean,
Well,
Grab a beer. No.
I wish the kids would have said something.
Something. Yeah, nobody says anything until I'm like, hey.
Oh, Kagan freaked out then.
Well, yeah, my nephew had a little fit, but even my younger child didn't say anything. Maybe.
Nope.
And he was way younger at the time. Trying to get this resent to him.
so, I've been in the paranormal for a long time, and I've never, like what you're describing in this house, I mean, I've never personally even experienced that. I mean, I work, I'm a volunteer at one of the more haunted places in the South, and I've had a lot of stuff happen to me there, and I mean, I've been to a lot of, supposedly haunted places, but I mean, I've had crazy stuff happen, but I've never seen seen shadows.
Yeah.
I've never seen like a person, a full blown, just full body apparition.
Across the room. The one male stood by the window in the dining room. Like just at a certain time of day, you'd walk by that room and you'd see the shadow of him just sitting there in the window. And it's just like a shade or something.
Like a
Yeah.
residual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just hanging out in the window.
And even the woman, it's not like it was a woman. You could tell it was a woman.
Yeah.
But obviously, the white.
But she always crossed the living room.
Yeah.
Always.
It's not like cross, like walking. When I tell you that we seen her, it's not like she was freaking walking. It was more of a floating, just smooth.
She just moved.
Yeah.
Like moved across the room.
And
very fluent motion.
Yeah. But I mean,
never once showed up in the office on the other side because I was in there all the time. Never saw a boo in that office.
you see her go in and out of there at night when you weren't in there. But other than that, that was it. But that was before we went in and blessed it. And
Kicked them all out.
Yeah, I guess kicked them all out.
Y'all are out.
For sure.
Well, Trina, I got a question. What were your feelings when you started experiencing this type of thing taking place in the house?
Like I said, the lady didn't seem to bother me. I was at peace with her there. I mean, I didn't feel threatened.
Well, it probably didn't bother you guys until the more aggressive and more of
the male.
Hey, let's see. When you we got a problem.
Yeah, she's
when it can physically touch me, there's a big problem. I don't care if
you're dealing with a whole different type of spirit when you're when you got that happening. I mean, touching is one thing, but when the grabbing, the more aggressive
I think
it's a whole different story.
To the spirits, because she has narcolepsy, and when she sleeps at night, she has night terrors. And I've noticed if she doesn't have a necklace on that I gave her, they torment the crap out of her. And when she has a necklace on,
Y'all got to continue. I'll be right back.
Yep, it's blessed. It's got a cross on it. You know, it's a blessed necklace. She sleeps like a baby all night. But if she leaves that thing off, they torment the shit out of her.
Well, I've experienced things.
Sorry for my language. I'm an old sailor.
Sailor mouth over here, but I experienced things when I was younger with my, at my grandma's house, and
but they never messed with me. Never once.
As a young teenager, and my grandma got on to my cousins and I. She was like, "Y'all don't be doing that. You're gonna bring up spirits you don't want to." Blah 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 blah. And sure enough,
playing with a Ouija board is
no,
not right.
we weren't playing with a Ouija board.
Well, it's similar,
but
to
close
it.
enough.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Stupid.
I've played with. I don't even like to admit it, but I've played with a Ouija board once when I was younger. Now is what I know, and people I've met, and he won't know. No, I wanted no. No one want anything to do with the Ouija board.
I don't want it near me. Well, when I was.
I mean, the main thing is, a lot of people don't even know how to use them. But if you know how to use them, I mean,
no, thank
you can invite things that aren't supposed to be in this world.
Well, I'm pretty sure my cousins probably knew exactly how to use it because I'd never heard of a seance, and we were sitting on my grandma's back porch doing some seance, and my grandma comes out there and she's like, "What are y'all doing? You need to stop."
Mm-mm.
And sure enough, that night, some crazy stuff happened, and I honestly thought it was my grandma and them messing with us till I heard my grandma.
All right.
And she definitely wasn't messing with us. And it seems like ever since then I've been pretty, or maybe it's just because I'm aware that really does exist. I don't know. I've seen
a lot of stuff as a young man with Father
kind of seems to follow you a little bit.
It does seem to follow me a little. Just like I can feel it. I walk in the house.
I mean, just a quick question. Do you have anything that's been passed down to you? Any type of objects that you've carried? That you've.
Oh my God, my cedar chest.
I
have a cedar chest that's
helping your life, and it, that's went from place to place with you and so forth.
Yeah, I have a cedar chest that she wasn't my grandmother, but she was practically helped raise my father. Her whole family died in a house fire when her and her sister were babies, and
they were placed.
Yes, her and her sister were placed in the chest with a Bible, and somehow the two of them kids lived. And I'm talking, they were little, and that this was when she was born. January 3rd, 1900 was her birthday. So this chest is well over 100 years old, and it goes everywhere with me.
Well, it's all good now because I've blessed all that stuff.
Did you bless that?
I blessed everything in that dang house, girl.
Yeah, but they definitely, you could have had some type of attachment to it. I mean,
I do
have been like seem to follow you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, that is the one particular thing that stands out to me. But I mean,
I had an object that was actually haunted in my old house, and had that object cleansed. But it was an old Japanese ivory sword, and it had something attached to it. It was pretty interesting.
The piano's
old.
Yeah, it's 130 years old.
Cleansed too. I learned to cleanse all the objects when you bring them in, and if you bring something in the home, you got to cleanse your home again.
And I did notice this too, and I don't know if this is a normal thing, Blake, or not, but it seems like it's bad. Like bad people come in the house. People that
evil people.
Evil. I had another nephew and his wife that were just horrid people. I didn't know that, but I let them stay with me for a little bit until realized what all they were into. But I'm telling you, they brought some bad stuff back with. We had to re-cleanse the home.
Yeah.
When they left.
I mean, things attach to people all the time. I mean, and most of the time they stay attached to a certain person, but I mean, somebody can bring something in somewhere and it can stay. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
If you want to bring a camera out and show them that story, it's old. Really old.
Yeah, Blake, you and I had a little experience with that ourselves at once upon a time.
Yeah, but that really wasn't anything malicious or evil, or of course, I believe that a lot of the stuff like that, you have to. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't believe in demons, because I definitely believe in demons, but I don't, personally, that's not something that crosses my mind. You don't. It's energy. I mean, that's you start to believe something, it's and you empower it. I mean, you're more likely to have it attach or whatever than somebody that's stronger, that doesn't necessarily have the energy to feed off of.
Right. I don't know that. I'm okay with them typically. I mean, really, they don't. Mm-mm. I don't get too spooked out by it. But
I've seen the whole possession thing and everything from being a young man.
I have. That is something I've experienced too, and I completely forgot about that. But that's not even. I don't feel like that's the issue. But I definitely saw a friend of mine had some crazy stuff happen with her. I was in my early 20s when it took place, that she became possessed with something, and I had to take her, like, literally, we took her to the hospital, and she had, like, all these personalities. I don't know. Anyway, I assume it was some mental something going on with her, and they couldn't fix her. So her dad is very, very Christian man, and he calls me and says, I talked to Mother Mary, somebody, Sister Mary, I don't know who, but anyway, and he's like, you need to find her a church, because he didn't live there. He lived hours away. He's like, go pick her up from the hospital right now and take her to a church and have them pray over her. And I called my pastor, and he got a bunch of people together and said, bring her here. So I took her up there, and they told me, you may want to leave the church. Like leave the premises. And I was like, no, I'm staying here with her. I promised her I would. I'll tell you something, I wish I wouldn't have, because the things I seen that day, like, have haunted me. The rest, I mean, they still haunt me.
Well, it was, I'm sure, an eye-opening experience.
For sure.
Makes you realize there's more to this world than what we see.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Exorcisms are no joke. There's spiritual warfare around you. If Jesus opened your eyes to it, you would see a whole different world in the spirit world, for sure.
I mean, yes, I am a paranormal investigator, but, me, myself, I don't go around poking at things I shouldn't poke around with.
Right.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in, you provoke things, you piss something off, you may get the reaction you're looking for.
You're right. Exactly.
Yep. I've never, knock on wood, I've never had a super malicious experience. I mean, other than say like a door slamming or anything like that. But I am good friends with a demonologist just in case.
Amen.
There you go.
Do you ever cleanse yourself once you leave?
Should I? Okay. Should I? Yes. Do I? No.
That's a good question, Donnie, for sure. Too.
Yeah, it is.
I think I would have to.
Well, I mean, I'll say like a little prayer, in my head, just type situation. I mean, but other than that, I mean, when me and Ricky first started doing paranormal, I mean, we used to, but I guess I just kind of got out of the habit over the years. I mean, I guess that's not really a good thing, but it is what it is. But then again, not saying that things can't happen, attachments and everything, but I don't go around picking fights.
Do you feel
Nope.
like they're here, like they stay behind for a reason? Like maybe they have
Well, I mean, there are different types. I mean, that's a question that really can't be answered because one, there are different types of hauntings. They're, far as residual, that's not necessarily somebody's spirit's necessarily still here.
right.
That's just time replaying itself. Now, far as when we get into intelligent hauntings and stuff like that, I mean, there are multiple reasons. I mean, it could be, an unfulfilled, purpose in life, or it could be, some traumatic event and they just weren't ready to go. I mean, that's something that science can't explain, so we can't explain it as, just making up theories and everything. We don't truly know why we have an after, quote unquote, let's say afterlife on Earth, because that's pretty much what it is. Can't really answer that.
Can you answer why it would have been aggressive?
Huh?
I mean,
It clearly
that?
didn't take you.
it clearly, yeah. Like, why would that thing?
Why would they target her?
Yeah, why would it be so aggressive with me? Is it because I was
Well,
only?
kind of my theory on that when it comes to, all right, so it goes back to what I was talking about, poltergeist and everything. You can have malicious activity without it being truly poltergeist.
Right.
And you have what I call angry spirits. Angry spirits are just like we have bad days in life. We have angry people in life. That, if they were an angry person in their life, they're more likely going to continue to be that way in the afterlife if for some reason they get stuck here. Now, as far as like targeting a certain person, I mean, that's why I asked about attachments and stuff like that. I mean, they're not really, I can't give you a reason why. I mean, I don't know.
I know any other experience I've ever had. I've never felt harmed or felt threatened or.
And I'm sure that just like we target people in life, also when we're alive. I mean, I'm sure that happens with spirits as well. I mean, just come across the wrong one that don't like somebody for some odd reason.
Again, I'll go with I was the only woman in the house.
Also has to do a lot with fate.
No, that could be the case too. You being the only female in there, and if it was an aggressive male spirit, that could be it too. More, felt more dominant over you than say.
Definitely much more dominant over me, for sure.
But that, that's when we start talking about a different type of spirit. I wouldn't say, as far as demonic goes, it's 1 in a million. Demonic activity is so rare. Like, I hate like Zach Bagan and all these TV shows that just throw the demon word around. That's not how it is. I mean, so you were just more likely dealing with somebody that was just pissed off.
That's more, just more of a angry, and that's how I took it too. Is this thing is pissed that I'm here.
You could, I mean, and just like, for example, this is a totally kind of like targeting somebody type situation. We have a spirit at the hospital, Dr. Taylor, and when he was a doctor at the hospital he was a pipe smoker, and he would walk around to all his patient rooms, smoking his pipe. And that's what he was known for. Is everybody knew Dr. Taylor is smoking a tobacco pipe. Well, we have the owner's girlfriend. She looks kind of like, I want to say it was his wife's mother, or something like that. I can't remember exactly which it was, but anyways, where I'm getting at with this is, he shows himself as smoke. Like you smell his pipe smoke. It's the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah.
It smells like maple tobacco, and it comes out of nowhere, and it will literally fill up a room of smoke. And it only does it when Brooke is around. The woman that looks like his wife's mother or something. I can't remember exactly who she was, but only does it when she's around. So for some reason, he has this connection with Brooke, or whether if it's a obsession, whatever. But she can be in the building and go down to ER waiting, and within 30 seconds of being there, it's on command. It happens every single time.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
a little different
people, right?
circumstance, but just showing the attachment and for some reason they relate, and this, who says that this spirit that was targeting you didn't look like somebody he didn't like, or there are multiple reasons.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. So yeah, that's interesting.
Like I said, it's two different circumstances, but they're the same at the same time. I mean, it's for some reason it's drawn to her.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But anybody else? There's one other volunteer that can get it, that he'll show himself for at the hospital. Other than that, he won't do it for nobody else.
Wow.
Cool. Well, I hope mine. I hope it's found peace somewhere, not around me. Nick. Everything else out there can stay and play, but that one had to go. At least I hope it stays gone, away from me.
The
Gotta
ladies,
go or ready to pay rent, right?
Yeah, right.
the lady spirit y'all said that is at your house. Is it she also from the 1800s, or she?
I'd say so, for sure.
I'd say she's got that area. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe early, late 1800s, early 19. I wouldn't go any more than.
I know researching the property, there were 2 women that died in a house fire in that area. And I would suspect she's one of them.
When we say that area, the whole.
Like,
the whole
on that road.
The whole valley, the whole
That
valley,
road.
because that whole area, obviously used to be farmland, and then the name of that road, in particular. I mean, there's like one ancestor, there's like one family left of that.
Still there.
That's still there. It's kind of been in that area. So I guess there's one little section of what that whole farm area used to be. One little bitty section still belongs to them.
I'm sure that
And that's like 2 mountainsides, and it ran through a valley. So it had both mountains plus the valley, but all that property was all together.
And there's a stream that flows by it.
Yeah, there's
2 of
actually,
them, actually.
And then there's a big one at the end that has multiple streams that run into the river. Yeah. Or into the whatever that is.
How close are y'all to Adams, Tennessee?
Not far.
Have y'all ever been up there to is it the Bell Witch?
No,
I'm dying to go.
I want to go. I kind of got a little creeped out when that happened to me at the house there, and then reading, all the stuff about that, and yeah.
Well, see, the actual story of Bell Witch Cave did not happen at the actual cave.
No, and here, let me tell you, no, it didn't. It did not happen there, but man, I got an article. I'll have to send it. I'll send it to you guys. There was something I read about that too.
About the Bell.
Which kind of about Bell Witch, and then close to our house, one of the.
Careful.
Yeah, I got to be real careful how I say that. Yeah, I'll just send you the article because I have to be careful because that may.
That'll clue people in right where it is.
Yeah, so I'll send you the article though for you guys to read because it's pretty interesting. So
Uh,
but it's
is it
definitely about Bell Witch and then an accident that happened and a headstone that was in the back of the car, and that was all right there at our house, close to us.
Real
Wow.
close.
And it all has to do with Bell Witch stuff. So yeah, we're close. We are close to Adams.
See, I wanted to take a trip to Bell Witch, but the only thing about it is you're not allowed to take photos. You're not allowed to record. You're not. I mean, like, you can't really investigate it. I mean, it'd be a neat place to just go, but for like, actually investigating the place, like, I don't think from what I read on their website.
Yeah, well, their website's one thing. I've seen local people go out and do stuff with them, so you might could call them and contact them.
Yeah, let them know what you want to come there for.
Maybe they'll let you in privately or something without other people.
That's a long. For me, that's a long trip just to go there.
Yeah,
I think it'd be worth it to go to.
Yeah.
Right.
it'd be worth the trip.
Yeah,
Well, that whole area up in there, there's a place up there that I don't know exactly how far it is from where y'all live, but it's Claymont, Tennessee. Have y'all ever heard of that?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Claymont was an old coal mining town.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it's built on. Well, back in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, they actually shut the town down and moved out. All the residents did around the town. But from what I can gather, and my nephew's been up there on a couple of.
Are you sure you're not talking about Elkmont?
Elkmont, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Elkmont. Yeah.
Elkmont.
Why'd they shut that down?
Well, as far as I can understand, the coal in the area had ran out, and they shut the property down up there. But there's an old
It's an abandoned town, is what it is.
just abandoned town's what it is, and there's an old coal chute where they used to load the coal onto the trains at the lower end of town. That's supposed to be extremely haunted. It's like a 2-story coal bin.
Well, that whole town is supposed to be haunted.
Yeah, well, my nephew went up there, Sean, and his wife, and done an investigation, and man, they caught some really, really weird stuff that took place on them up there.
Really?
The old Elkmont Cemetery, for instance, there's a paranormal entity that actually haunts the old cemetery. That they actually caught an apparition on one of their cameras of this thing, and it actually changed form from like an old woman, withered up old woman, into an owl, and you can see the owl flying and landing in a tree out at the end of the cemetery. So it's a wild place up there. But that whole area up in there is what I'm saying. That whole area across there seems to hold a lot of paranormal entities.
Well, I mean, look at Cage Cove. I mean, look at all the paranormal reports that come from Cage Cove, from strange lights in the sky to strange lights in the woods to Bigfoot to all these churches and stuff they have up there being haunted. I mean,
well, now Trina has sent me pics that they're actually having basically the whole scenario take place on their property up there, because they sent me pics of strange lights, Bigfoot, Sasquatch tracks,
Squatch.
Yeah, lights, paranormal, all kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Let me bring some of these pics up.
I wish the videos would show up. Those are the interesting.
Yeah, I wish I'd got these videos to upload, but now this is one pic. You see the object to your right there, Blake?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is another one.
That's so. If you look to the upper left,
That's
you see that squatch standing there. Literally standing there. He's walking across. That's what. If you blow into that image, he's carrying something. And you can just catch him in that movement.
Wow.
For some reason, I can't get the zoom to go in on this thing.
That's all right. You don't have to zoom it. You see the upper left where the two dot lights are off to the left, probably an inch
Right.
off.
Standing right below it.
Standing right below it. You got it.
I
Yep.
see it.
Right.
Now she took that picture. You can tell them why you took that picture.
yeah. We went over this the
Last show.
the last show that we filmed with them.
Hey, y'all continue. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
Ricky.
So you two were not there that day, but that picture was taken. I heard something out back again late at night.
Yep.
And didn't have a flashlight or spotlight or whatever. And so my new iPhone or whatever has the night pictures on it, night mode, whatever. So whenever I take a picture at night, it looks like this, like just clear as day. Matter of fact, I really love the night mode on it because it just does beautiful pictures. But anyway, so I take a picture because I hear something out there and I don't have a light, or I just started snapping a few pictures and that shows up and I was like, oh, hold on just a minute. So I actually then I took another picture or several other pictures trying to move the camera as it was, doing its thing just to see if it done a kind of funny shadow or whatever. No. Next day is, I'm assuming you guys seen the other pictures that he had from the other show, but the next morning went out.
I've seen a couple of them. I seen the one where the car was on fire.
Yeah.
And the it was standing behind the car.
Right.
I think that's
And
the
then
only
you
one
saw-
that he showed me.
Okay, yeah, there's that one. There's another one in the woods, and then there's off the front, and then this is in the back. And then the next morning went out there, and my husband went out. He was like, "Well, show me exactly." So I showed him, and there was prints, like squatch prints everywhere. And I come back up to the porch or balcony, whatever, and we reenacted that picture with him standing down there, and he is tiny to that. The same exact view, he is tiny to that. Well, I say tiny, but you can see him, but
It wasn't as big as
not
that
as
thing
big
was.
as that.
No.
So anyway, right around where those tracks were at, I found a wad of hair.
Yeah.
And
She's still getting tested.
yes, still we're actually getting that tested with some people we know
And it stunk to high freaking heaven.
for sure. But that was interesting. So the other pictures. he
All right,
had-
I've got another pic here. There's one of the lights.
Yeah.
Again, that's late
Now,
at night.
this was taken over y'all's property, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
I wish I could zoom in.
I know. Like,
Yeah, I keep trying.
I'm over here.
Yeah. This thing won't let me zoom in. I don't know why. Okay.
Zoom in, snap, screenshot it, and send it. Yep.
I had some more here. Okay, you spoke of finding the hair. Blake, I don't think you saw that. That's a pic of one of the hair samples they'd found up there. Now y'all had those sent off to have it tested, right?
We did. I'm actually going to meet with the guys next week to discuss it. they're real excited about it. So we'll see what they say.
When you find out what the analysis is on this,
We'll
Joe,
share
please
it with
let
you.
us know.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And I'll show the pic,
Yeah.
Blake. I don't know if you saw this one or not. And I know
Where was
Donnie
the
had.
Yeah,
pic?
I saw that one.
Yeah.
Did you see that one, Donnie?
No, that's one of.
You see it over to the right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that when I was down in the creek bed because the car exploded again, the front of it there. And I was taking pictures of the explosion because I was tracking the individual that set it off down in the creek bed, which is probably 20 feet down below that wreck there. Probably about, I would say, 50 yards off from it.
So how far would you say the actual creature that's showing up in this picture? How far was it?
It's actually the tracks, because we went back the next day. His tracks were on the other side of the road, so he was about 14 feet away from that car on the other side of the road up on a bank. And, just a little, probably, I would say 8 inches above the grade of the road there. And those were big tracks. So he was 14 feet away, so probably 60, 70 yards from me.
Okay, now you're familiar with the property up there where this
Oh,
thing
yeah.
was standing. Where this thing was standing.
Yep.
What would you say the given height to this creature would have been?
The height of it?
Yeah.
We were estimating his height probably 8.5 to 9 feet from where the trees are there.
Right.
Now, I got a question.
Yeah.
Like, how secluded are you guys? I mean, are you in a neighborhood? Are you at the end of a neighborhood? Are you by yourself?
This is a mountain area.
Yeah, this place is more of a mountain area, and then this other place, we have two different homes here, okay? So this one home, particular where the fire is very mountainous, and then 30 minutes up the road is our other home that is
on a lake.
On a lake.
Yeah.
So both places there's neighbors, but not neighbors.
No.
Like that place in particular, I have.
So where that squatch is, if you were looking straight down from a satellite, you've got probably a mile and a half of nothing but woods going to the next road, and there ain't nothing but woods across that road. And
now, have you guys talked to anybody else in the area that, I mean, is this area known for Bigfoot activity or?
We have ran into people and talked,
yeah.
And
they know they're there.
They know they're there. And also,
our security team will tell you too.
Oh yeah. Our security guards.
We had a security team there on duty for other reasons. And because of the work I do, we had to have a team of guys there, and they're all, Green Berets and Navy SEALs, and they're freaking amazing guys. And we went out one morning just to, shoot the shit with them, have coffee with them, and they're all like on edge and on guard, and they go, "What the fuck is up on that mountain?" Sorry for my language again, but that's what they said. And they go, "This thing came down on the ridge and screamed at us." And I was like, "Well, it's probably a squatch." And they go, "No way is there a squatch." So then they proceed to try and trap this thing. So the next night they're out there, and they provoked it, and it was throwing stuff at them. And I get up in the morning, and there's 10 lights all along the whole edge of the mountain where we live. And they were trying to light up the woods, and they were all with their guns pointed up the mountain because this thing had tried to engage them, and they weren't having any of it. It was pretty funny. So they are believers after that event, and they had one cross the actual driveway. So the house is up on a hill, and there's a long driveway that goes down to the lower road down in the valley. And they had one cross there, and it actually crossed between them. And they, I'll tell you what, they're believers after that.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
good pictures.
Oh,
And
this is
y'all have
big.
actually had these things approach your house there, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yes, they've approached the house. They
Well, she,
tree knocks,
yeah,
hollering or screaming or
throwing huge freaking rocks at me. Yeah. I walk my dog on the backside of the house where there's like it's kind of like a U shape, the yard, and it's all woods below me going to the road, and then it's a big, U shape of woods all the way around and wraps back around the house. And I was walking Apollo up through there, and I hear this like tick, 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 tick coming down the mountain. Like, what the hell is that? And this huge rock lands like right next to us. I mean, it was like almost the size of a damn soccer ball. For something to throw that from the top of the mountain down is huge. And that thing would throw rocks against the wall. We have a brick wall in the back, like a retaining wall. And it would hit that block wall. They would throw rocks and it would hit the block wall, and you'd just hear it, bam, explode against the wall. I mean, they would charge down the mountain because when she's on her monthly thing, you'd hear them go boom, 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 coming down the mountain and stop. And then they would go back up the mountain again. You catch glimpses of them here and there, but they were. It was interesting living there.
here.
I bet it was.
You know,
Go ahead.
Now, do you guys still own that property?
yes.
Okay.
Now, Trina, I know you told me in one of your texts that y'all in that area there, there's actually ancestral areas where the Native Americans used.
Oh, yeah.
Native Americans used. Do y'all think that the conflict that y'all have with Sasquatch in that area? Do you think that that could be one of the reasons that they're there in the area?
I think that I don't know that necessarily that's why they're there. But then again, I don't know. I think they're protectors of the woods. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I typically don't feel threatened by them. When they start charging towards me, I feel like they're going to snatch me up and throw me in a cave and do dirty things to me because I don't like it, or they're going to eat me or something.
We did feed them and stop feeding them.
Yeah, we fed them and stopped feeding. Anyway, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's why they're there. I feel like they are the keeper of the woods, and
I think
and maybe
there.
that is why they're there. Maybe they're there to protect that land that
It's
was
a hunting ground for them to me. I view it.
the
I just
natives.
hunt.
Right.
Then
Now,
again, yeah, I mean it's prime hunting land. I mean there's water.
You sent me one pic. I think this is it right here. Yeah.
And that one's here at the lake house, and again they
More
have
deer.
plenty of food.
More deer than you can shake a stick at here. It's unbelievable. But the property, the other one on the mountain there, we found a cave that was very difficult to get at. We found it by accident. And there's caves on the mountain behind the house, and there's also caves on the other side. They have a lot of food there, a lot of cover. I think it's just a hunting ground for them over there and here. This is obviously
here.
a hunting ground.
The lake is surrounded by, what do you call it?
Creek bottoms.
Yeah, you got creeks everywhere, but you also have
deer everywhere.
the
Geese.
Army. The
What are you talking about?
Army
Corps of Engineers.
Yeah, Corps of Engineers land. So there's a lot of untouched land that goes all the way around the lake.
Yeah.
It's very roaming ground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got it.
Exactly.
So basically, you've got the
What's
main
that?
elements for them. I say so. You've got the main elements for them. You've got food. You've got cover. You've got water. You've got everything that needs to sustain a fairly large group of these creatures.
Squatch love water. I don't know what it is.
There's two main typical sightings: brown water, road crossings.
Yeah.
That's your two most quote unquote typical sightings.
Typical,
Yeah.
yeah. That is true.
Yeah, I saw them in water. Anytime I encountered it was near water.
And it's funny, I actually have a hunting camp. At one point, I did live out there, and it was my farm. And this is before my husband and I got married. But my kids and I lived out there. And listen, I would have to. Basically, I was on the Mississippi-Alabama border, and I still actually have that land, and I haven't been out there in several years now. But
We should go.
prior to need to go, but prior to me moving out there, nobody had hunted, fished, farmed, nothing that land for 30 years. And boy, it's some of the stuff that I've seen out there.
It's full of squats.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm one that you could throw out in the middle of the woods, and I promise I'm gonna come out leaving everything that's in there. But I will not stay in the woods out there at all.
Squats don't bother me. It's the other ones that bother me.
You know, Squatch don't. For whatever reason, I don't typically feel threatened by. I mean, I guess, like you said about paranormal activity before, is just paranormal activity stuff is don't go poking.
Yeah, don't go poking at them.
Don't go poking at them. Don't go messing with it, and they're not going to mess with you. And
them.
that's how I feel about Sasquatch too. Is don't go poking at it. Leave it alone. I know they're there. When they get to throwing stuff, I holler at them, and I'm like, "Hey, stop that! I see you. I know you're there, and I leave you alone.
Now leave me alone."
Yeah, you keep messing with me, and I'm gonna shoot you.
Did you all ever have an encounter with dogmen?
No. Well,
We had an encounter
I'm still on
today.
okay. I'm on the fence with. I mean, I shouldn't say on the fence, but I am kind of on the fence about Dogman. But I have had one encounter with Ricky that of a howl that we cannot explain what it was.
Dude, I've been face to face.
I don't even know if you'd call it a howl. It's kind of like a scream /
Oh, it's something. You won't forget it. I'll tell you that.
Oh no, you'll not forget it. That's for sure.
Yeah, those are the only things that scare me out there.
Now I'll tell you, I've been on the internet ever since Blake and I had this encounter a few months back, and I've been on the internet searching everything that I could find, any type of vocals that I could find, and I have, as of yet, I have not found a vocal that would match the severity of what this vocal was.
Oh,
I mean, guys, now this, I've been doing this for 40 years, and this is one thing that actually scared me.
Oh, it scares me.
And without tracks, and Trina happened to send me some that she had taken. I think you said these were taken in New York, upstate New York.
You sent me the Dogman track?
That's
I had the one with my foot next to it?
No, I didn't send you that one. I didn't have that one.
I got a good one for you. Crystal clear, in the gravel, in the mud, a huge Dogman track, bigger than my foot. And that thing, I actually had that on security camera and unfortunately lost the picture. But I had a full-size Dodge Ram 1500, and it was a rainy night, and this damn thing triggered the camera and the alarms and everything, and its head, and it was on all fours, its head was above the Dodge Ram hood, and you could just see the top of its head and those freaking ears. And let me tell you something, brother, that thing scared the hell out of me, and it chased my kid in the house one night, and my son's scared shitless. I'm like, you got a gun? Shoot him. They're an interesting creature, to say the least.
Well, guys, I've never actually came up on one of these things, and believe me, I don't think I'd really want to. Barry Robertson, a good friend of ours that normally joins in on the show from time to time. Barry sent me a deal today from I think it was. Now don't quote me on this, but I think it was from Cookville, Kentucky, where actually two people since I think the first killing was in May, and then there was just a recent one a week or two ago.
Yeah.
2 people have actually been killed by an unidentified animal up there. They're running autopsies on them now. The state of Kentucky is to determine what actually killed them. But as far as I know, these were within the area, boundary area around what they call land between the lakes up there.
That's
Oh,
what I was
brother.
fixing to say is Lane Between
Which
the
is-
Lakes.
We got time. I got a story to tell you about Land Between the Lakes. You ever hear about the doctor and his family murdered there back in the early, I think it was the 70s? It's a documentary on it, and they have it, and the troopers testified. And what happened was a doctor went down there. He had a shotgun with him, and they went camping down Land Between the Lakes. And a group of campers discovered the scene, and the doctor was in an RV. The door to the RV was ripped right off its hinges. The family was in pieces inside, like torn apart. So the troopers are investigating this, and they're looking at the belongings of the family, trying to track everybody that's there. And one of the investigators says, "Hey, there's a little girl's clothing here. There's no little girl." So they're trailing the woods. They find a blood trail. They trail in the woods. They get under this tree, and blood starts dripping on this trooper. And they look up, and here's this little girl broken backwards over a branch, totally disemboweled. And that they found canine bite marks on the victims. The doctor's arm was ripped right off his torso, and you can read the whole report. It's amazing. Tell me that there ain't no bears down there that can do that. A bear can't tear open a camper like that anyways. And these claw marks were huge on the victims and on the actual trailer itself, where it ripped part of that trailer up. I mean, Dogman's no joke. That's why I have Gabriel, by the way.
I was actually going to say, my hairdresser's, another girl that works there, she lives out towards Land Between the Lakes.
I won't. Ever.
Yeah, I mean, she lives close to that area. Matter of fact, she lives in the same. About 30 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit further out because they're just out in the but it's still the same county. They're just further out there. But anyway, she swears that her and her husband got chased out of the woods by several dogmen.
Yeah. Well, there's stories though. Is it what's that park? Bell State Park or something like that down here? What's the name of that state park over here? Bell Park or something like that? That park's got dogmen, and let's chase people out of there. They chase people out of there. Anyways.
Yes, and what I've heard about them and what I've seen of them, and after the howl that Blake and I encountered down there at the lake at night, myself, I don't want anything to do with them.
Me either.
No, sir.
Nope. My daughter.
I guess that's kind of why I'm on the fence about them, because I don't want to find out. No,
you don't. I'll tell you what, it turns you in from a 4 a.m. bow hunter to I'm bow hunting between noon and 2. And I'm out of the woods.
I'm good. I want no part of that.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, tell your buddy that was telling you about the 2 people over in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Tell him that there is a documentary
on Dogman.
On Dogman at Land Between the Lakes. So you'll have to have him.
There's a video y'all can watch.
Is there a video?
There's a video on it. I think you just search up Dogman and Land Between the Lakes. That video will come up on YouTube. You can watch it. It's about an hour long. It's just heartbreaking what they found. And, it's funny, the military came in and sealed that area off and built these weird looking buildings and did a lot of things there that were interesting, and then got rid of that problem. It's funny.
I've talked with the investigators since I've been doing this channel, and they still go up there and investigate the area, and they still swear that they have the they have sightings of them up there. I don't know if any of them actually had a personal encounter with one of the creatures, but it would be something to be unnerving as hell to me. I'll put it that way.
Oh, it is for sure. Life changing.
Did they ever make a movie about that?
About what?
About that Land of the Lakes, that boat in Kentucky?
Land Between the Lakes.
They made a documentary, but I've never seen a movie about it.
Seems like
Yeah,
I've
hell of
seen
a horror movie. I mean, those troopers, even to this day, 30 years later, they're they're still shaken by what they saw. I mean, it was, you got to watch that documentary.
It looks like there is a movie.
Is there a movie?
What?
Not about that one.
Is that anywhere near Red River Gorge?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah,
What do you got?
The Slaughter of Two Campers in 1979.
There you go. She found it.
It's called The Beast of Land Between the Lakes.
It's called The Beast of Land Between the Lakes. Don't
I'm
watch
gonna
it
look
tonight,
at
though. I'd recommend you watch that in the daylight.
I'll watch it after the show tonight.
Oh man, you're a braver man than I am, Rick. There's no way. Mm-mm.
Hey, as long as I'm sitting on the couch in here, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're not.
I got my gun loaded. Anything starts through the door, they may have a little problem. But other than that,
I got bad news for you.
You gonna let your little Chiweenie take care of it?
Yeah.
yeah, I'll let my Chiweenie take care of it. Dollar will handle it for me.
My daughter, I used to yell at her all the time, coming to take care of the horses at night. We lived on a horse ranch in upstate New York that was very, very heavily wooded, thick creek beds. We had Sasquatch there. We knew they were there. But this thing, this night she was there. She took the manure down back by the creek to dump the manure, and this howl rippled through the whole freaking woods. This unbelievable howl, and very deep. And then another one howled. There were two of them. And my daughter's screaming, and I had the Win Mag with me, a 300 Win Mag, Rick, just to let you know what it is. I went down there in the ATV. It's a big gun. Went down there with the ATV, saw them across the creek up on the hill, and they were howling. And I told my daughter, get your ass back up to the barn. I thought they were like big timber wolves or something. So I dropped one. I put the crosshairs on that son of a bit. Boom. Dropped him like a rock and went across the creek, get up there, and he's gone. Both of them are gone. No blood, nothing. So they're growling at me. So now I'm literally like doing this dance with them with the ATV going towards them, and they're huge. So I shoot another round at them. Nothing. And they just back up, and I kept going after them and shooting, and they finally got back up across the other end of the creek, and I got out of there. And let me tell you something. I went back the next day. I could see the tracks. I could see where they crossed. I could see where they dropped when I hit them. But that Win Mag did not stop them. So I don't know if they're supernatural or what those things are. But they were not a timber wolf, because it would have been right there, right? And those were 180 grain Winchester Supreme XP3 bullets. Those things will drop a freaking elephant.
I used to hunt with one.
Yeah.
And I've shot deer with them, and it blew the whole front quarter of them off.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Win Mag, you'll
200 yards. Drop them like a rock, right where they are.
300. Yeah, I've used those out west, and we've dropped. I dropped an antelope out there. One in which antelope, is fairly small, but about the size of our deer around here. But it destroyed both front quarters, or both shoulders was completely gone on this thing. It was wrecked.
So shooting one of those, I hit him. I must have hit him 4 times with that gun. Didn't do a damn thing to him. It dropped him, but it didn't hurt him. Scared me enough not to go in the woods again like that. Then we started carrying bigger guns, because we were like, oh, we encounter these things in the dark again, we're going to shoot them with a big old 12 gauge deer slug.
Guys, it's amazing what these things will do. You know, I've had people tell me that they, I had one guy tell me that he had shot, I think 4 or 5 times at a squatch one night in the woods and get about 30 yards out from him. And he said this thing just tore trees down all around him. But even after him taking pop shots at the thing, it never actually charged him. And you know, he said go ahead.
The Iroquois, my ancestors called them stonish giants, and they call them stonish or flint skin because there's something about the fur on those things that'll stop an arrow. It'll stop a bullet. I believe it'll stop a bullet. Interesting when you talk about Sasquatches and, you know, the Iroquois, you know, they call them stonish giants for that reason. Flint skins. You know, flint, hard as flint. Pretty interesting creatures. But those dogmen, they're a whole nother level. I do not want to mess with them.
Yeah, I'll stick with my Bigfoot and paranormal world.
I don't think Bigfoot will ever harm anybody, not unless you really piss them off.
I think they
Well, I mean, I think there's certain. I mean, like, I think when a lot of people have aggressive encounters, you know, maybe they're young around. I mean, just like most animals when they're young in the area. I mean, you know, that's their survival instincts to protect young. I mean, you know, so I think people read or interpret some of their aggressive behavior the wrong way. Because if they really wanted to hurt you, they would hurt you. I mean, they're not going to just just try to scare you and leave you. I mean, if they were, you know, truly trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If they wanted to get you, they could get you, you know. Period.
Those other creatures, though, they definitely are out to get you.
I agree.
I don't like those things at all.
So,
I would love to hear more, Rick, about this recent murder up there. I'd love to hear about that.
Barry's supposed to send me anything that they come up with on it. He's supposed to send me the details on it, and as soon as I get it, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, look that murder up in 1979 down there. It's really interesting. You know,
I'm going to as soon as I get out here. I want to check that out.
I'll check it out in the daylight tomorrow.
Hey, I live in a pretty tight little neighborhood around here. Got woods in behind me. Front of me is open. I've got security lights up around, so I'm pretty good, I think.
That's a smart thing to have, are those security lights outside. They definitely keep them away.
And I get into this paranormal stuff. I live. There's probably a big cemetery. It's 100 yards across the back part of my property over here into the cemetery. So
nice.
It's a little spooky over here at times.
I bet. Neighbors are quiet, though.
Oh, yeah, very quiet.
Well, y'all have a blessed night. It's late here.
Yeah, we're gonna end the show. Robert, Trina, I want to thank you very much for joining us again tonight.
Well,
and if y'all come up with anything else up there that you'd like to share with the with our viewers, just give me a holler on Messenger, and we'll set up another show.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, guys, and it was good meeting you.
Y'all have a blessed night. Cheers.
Yes, sir.
Donnie, glad to have you on tonight, buddy.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you,
Y'all
Donnie.
gonna do it next Wednesday night?
Yep.
Hey. All right, Blake, you want to close her out?
Well, thank you guys for your support. If you're not, like I say always, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, like, and a comment. Get Donnie to talking more. We got
Oh.
leave us some more comments so he'll talk.
Hey,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
start asking Donnie more questions, folks.
Hey, I was listening to it. I'd love to go up there. That would be interesting. That land between the lakes sounds good too.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, there's several areas here within 2 to 3 hour drive of us that we can go check out. Hell, Blake, I'm up to going up the
Look,
lands of the
no,
lake
y'all
one
just
night.
if you're going looking for dog men, just send me a postcard.
Hey man, don't chicken out on us, again.
Yeah, you ain't got to be fast, just faster.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah,
that's not
Hey,
very hard, Ricky.
I'm slowest one in the crowd, and I'm not scared.
No. Hey, that Red River Gorge, I heard, was a good place to go too.
Where's that located at, Donnie?
It's in Kentucky too. That's the reason why I mentioned to Brian about going. It was I've seen some interesting stuff from Lena, but that's the reason why I asked him. I said, I don't know if that's the same place or roundabout. I said but I've heard some or seen some good stuff on some films and documentaries on it. But we have to get together and go sometime.
Hey guys, I'm ready anytime y'all get ready to pack up and head that away. All you gotta do is just give me a phone call.
Hey, don't forget me in October now.
Okay.
But you remember that
I'll
thing
let you
too?
know. Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's October the 16th. But yeah, we're definitely going to plan on going up there. If I can get Blake, take a day off and go.
Ain't my fault.
Hey, they got other people that works there, ain't they?
The guy covers my 2 days off.
Well, he's going to have to cover 3 days off that week.
It don't work that way. I'm salaried. He's not.
Lord. I'm sure they'll let you off for 1 day. It ain't about a 2.5 hour drive. We can be up there and back in 1 day.
All right.
Guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm tired.
All right.
I got dinner.
All right, everybody. As Blake said, anybody that's watched this tonight or watching in the future, we hope you enjoy the content. Hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and hey, send us a like. Let YouTube know. Comment. Let YouTube know what you think about our content. God bless everybody, and everybody have a safe night.
Yes, sir.